Hello and welcome. I am your grumpy guard to all things gaming, the OGGM with another OGG adventure, a very rare product review. Why don't I do more product reviews? Because these things are fucking expensive, that's why. And I'm not in a financial position to just buy books to review them. Now, if somebody wants to send me their product for free, sure, I'll review it. But if I have to pay out of pocket, then I can only do it so often. Today we're going to take a really brief review of Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the 5th edition bastardized version of Undermountain. Undermountain, the greatest dungeon of all time. Really? All of Undermountain in 300 some odd pages? Yeah, no, I mean that was like what, 2 box sets and several supplements and you still didn't scratch the surface. But I picked this up on cheap, used, because there's no maps in it. And I wanted to have a megadungeon on hand, because as you know, I'm a huge fan of megadungeons. And so I had choices of this one or Tomb of Annihilation, which I absolutely love. And I decided to pick this up because curiosity. I remember being a fan, sort of Undermountain when it originally came out, though I had some issues with it even back then. I'd heard some good things about this. I'd also heard some bad things about it, so I was curious. Now, I've made it halfway through. I'm about... where am I at? I gotta find, yeah. So I made it to here. Muriel's Gauntlet. And this is just unreadable. Okay, there's no real spacing between topic to topic. Here's one room ends here, another room ends here. There should be a line between it. There's absolutely no art. Look, no art. No art, except for the art at the beginning of each level and the map. No art. There's some art at the end for like the specific new monsters and magic items and stuff, but really, there's no art in this. I think a mega dungeon needs art. You need pictures and drawings of the encounters. You need little maps down here on each page showing the entrances and exits. Second, there's no wandering monster tables or no random tables whatsoever. Even if you go to the very back, the appendix is a couple monsters, and that's it. And one cutout. There's no wandering monster table. There's no replenishment table. There's no idea that, if I go into this place and I leave and I come back, how am I going to change it? Now, each chapter does have a little thing at the end called Aftermath. But, and there is sort of a plot. Very vague plot, which I guess is a continuation of the plot of Dragon Heist, which is supposed to be a sequel to, about Drow elves trying to infiltrate Undermountain, using it as a gateway to try and get to Skullport and take over Skullport from Xanther. Xanther being the beholder crime lord who supposedly is now in charge of Skullport. Except it's very hard to imagine Xanther, the same beholder that wrote Xanther's Guide to Everything, who was just sort of this wacky, goldfish-obsessed guy, and a guy who's taken over Waterdeep. Of course, there is some conspiracy. There's actually 2 Xanthers. So, yeah, this is just awful. It is, I got bored reading it. It's not interesting. It's just lots of little teeny small words with nothing breaking them up. No art. There's nothing compelling. There's no compelling encounters. There's no compelling tricks. There's no compelling traps. There's no idea that if I leave and come back, it will change. There's nothing making it feel like a mega dungeon. It just feels like a lot of little dungeons that are sort of connected, get together. Each level is completely separate, can be run on their own, which is probably how I'm going to do it. Cut and paste it and just run it as sort of a, idea glut until I can pick up something better. And it's boring. It's just this is not an interesting product. If you're looking for a mega dungeon, I wouldn't recommend this. There's probably something better out there. I'm hoping gonna find one. I mean, I don't own a lot of 5e product, and I don't own a lot of mega dungeons, and I wasn't even planning on buying any more Wizards of the Coast product because I'm really not happy with them. But this is really cheap, and I was curious. And just the lack of art alone is just... That's just text. More text. One page. More text. More text. It's just uninteresting. And there's no maps. There's no art. There's no, iconic magic items, iconic tricks, iconic traps, iconic treasure, iconic anything. Now, one person defended it, and its randomness by saying, well, Hallister Blackcloak, the guy who built it, is insane. So, of course, it's insane, and there should be nothing making it a linear story or interconnected because it's just this random wizard walking around, filling random space with random things. Which, I mean, yeah, there is definitely that sense that this is just all random, that there's nothing connecting these. But if Hallister Blackcloak truly is insane in conducting these insane, wacky, interdimensional experiments, then that's what Undermountain should be. This just insane, wacky, interdimensional experiments. I mean, there should be clowns on unicycles armed with machine guns chasing you down the hallway until you run into a room and there's a hot dog stand, a prehistoric caveman, and a spaceman. I mean, if Hallister's truly traveling from plane to plane and just insane and just experimenting and he doesn't even know what he's going to do next, then that should be this dungeon. And it's not. I mean, he does sort of have a storyline going through this. There are a couple parts where it does sort of feel like, hey, why is there a forest in the middle of this place? Oh, because an insane person built this dungeon, so that's why there's a forest. And that's something iconic, and that's something I'd want to see, is an iconic, mysterious, haunted forest in the middle of a dungeon. That sounds interesting until you read it, and it's just like, no, there's just a bunch of not connected encounters that don't tell a continuous story or give me any sense that these are the mad experiments of an insane person. And again, no art and no maps. So do yourself a favor. Unless you can find it for $5 like I did, do not get it. That is my review of Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Will I use it if I run 5e? Yes, because it's a good source for a bunch of short adventures. I don't have to run it as a mega dungeon. I can just run it as a bunch of encounters. And so it's a good product for that until something better comes along. Though really, I don't like supporting Wizards of the Coast at all right now. So vote for Joe Biden. Talk to you soon.